Oh, I do.
Excuse me, I keep yawning. I'm obviously a little tired this morning. I don't know why. I just had a good night's sleep. And that kind of got me thinking about sleep. You know, most of us feel that we don't get enough of it. But when you really think about it, when you think about the working day, your working day is 24 hours. Or rather, not the working day. I mean, the boss would love it to be 24 hours, wouldn't they? But no, the working day is not 24 hours. Boss, the working day is not 24 hours. Tell them, it's not 24 hours. The working day, for most people, is around about 8 hours. The day is 24 hours, is what I'm trying to say. What I meant to say, it's because I'm tired. The working day is 24 hours. And you'll find out in a minute why I keep going on about being tired. I'm not tired, it's part of the dramatics. It's part of the dramatics for the presentation. But that's a side note. Anyway, the day is 24 hours long for most of us. As I say, I know my boss wants it to be longer, but it is 24 hours a day. 8 hours of the day, approximately, you're at work. 8 hours of it, approximately, you're asleep. And 8 hours of it, you're doing your own thing. And your own thing's probably chores. You know, you're taking the kids to school, you're doing the shopping, you're doing the vacuuming, you're doing the washing, you're washing the car, you're going, you know, you're fixing things. So that's your 8 hours of leisure time, is doing your own thing. So those 3 eighths are 24. So it's broken down, the day's broken down into approximately thirds. And people are going to be saying, well, yeah, but I work 7 hours, or I work 9 hours, and I only get 5 hours sleep. Well, yeah, but I'm talking about the average, you know, on average. And you can do this calculation. We're about to do a calculation here, which I think is going to amaze you. The first time I amazed it, and I still can't, I didn't amaze it, I thought it. What am I talking about? My teeth aren't working properly today. But the first time I thought of it, it was a bit of a shock to myself. Anyway, let's go back to where we were. So 8 hours at work, 8 hours asleep, and 8 hours doing your own thing. That's the 24 hours split up into the 3. So that's a third. So a third of the day, on average, a third of the day, or the third of the 24 hours, you're asleep. A third of the time you're asleep. Now multiply that up. Take 3 years. Over 3 years, 3 years is easy. Even I can divide 3 years into thirds. It's 1 year is a third. So of those 3 years, now you got to keep up with me and really think this through. You're going to think this guy don't know what he's talking about. It can't be. Well, it is. A third of the time, we've agreed, a third of the day you're asleep. So a third of the time you're asleep. So in 3 days, you've been asleep for a day. Of those 3 days, so for every 3 days go by, a third of that time you've been asleep. So like a whole day you've been asleep. 3 weeks go by, you've been asleep for a week. I'm not talking about at night, I'm talking about all day, all night, 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 for a week. So now we're talking in years. 3 years go by, and you've been asleep for a third of that time. You've been asleep for a year. Why are you tired? I'm not tired. I was only yawning for dramatics. So now let's go further. Let's say 30 years go by. You've been asleep for 10 years. What's the matter with you? You're tired? You've been asleep for over the last 30 years. You've slept for 10 of them. I'm not talking at night. It's day after day after month after month. For 10 years you've been asleep. So now let's go further. For 30 years. Let's say, you know, we're going to live to 60. Now you've been asleep for 20 years. I mean, you've been at work for 20 years. And that's all day, all night, all day, all night, all day, all night, a day, night. So let's say you live to the ripe old age of 90. Only I'm going in multiplications or multiples of 3 because it's easy for me to what's the word? Divide it. You've been asleep. You're now 90 years old. A 90-year-old person has been asleep for 30 years of those 90 years. I mean, that's 30 years without waking up. 30 years. Can you believe that? It doesn't seem true, does it? But it is. a third of the time. We've already agreed right at the beginning that 24 hours, in 24-hour period, a third of that time you've been asleep. And if you divide that up to 90 years, a third of that time you have been asleep for 30 years without waking up. You have been at work for 30 years with no stop and no break and no weekends included. And you've been doing your own thing for 30 years. And that brings us to another point. That 30 years you've been doing your own thing over the last 90 years, what have you achieved? What have you achieved? What will you achieve? So for 30 years, all day, all night, all weekends, without any sleep, for 30 years, you're going to be doing your own thing. And most of us, we waste that time. Now, I don't have the time to sit here and talk any longer. I've got time. I've got to go do something with my 30 years. Well, I've spent some of it, and a third of it I've been asleep. But anyway, very interesting, very interesting. Think it through for yourself. It doesn't make sense, but it's absolutely 100% accurate. I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching. Bye bye now. 30 years, I can't believe it.